Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Red Beard. It's a damn fine day to talk about a book, and we're here for a book review. And today we're going to be talking about Abortus by Mark M.J. Green. Very, very short, slim novelette, I guess you would call it. I mean, it's basically a short story, 40 pages long. I got this in the mail yesterday, and I was intrigued when Mark reached out. I was intrigued by the synopsis. I was intrigued about an extreme horror story about an abortion. This came here. I cracked it yesterday and kept going. And I didn't have a ton of time, but I probably read 20 pages immediately and read the last 20 last night. So, did I do that because it's short and I needed content? No. I'm kidding. I think that if you send me something short that is of extreme nature, there's a fair chance that I'm going to get to it really fast because, my recent reviews of like Aaron Beauregard's The Slob like did really well, and so I don't know. I'm kind of feeling extreme horror right now. Now, I will say that the idea of a story about a home done abortion written by a man concerned me. I will also say that I was very concerned that there would be anti-abortion undertones in the book that could be interpreted one way or the other, and that also concerned me. And there is an element to the story that I think people could. I don't know Mark's personal feelings on the subject. I don't. So but there is an element to the story that could be twisted up that way to make it be like a an anti-abortion type thing. But I think the way I choose to look at it is that it's more of a cry for like abortion rights, right? Readily available abortion access, so that things like this don't have to happen. I don't know. It's hard to talk about a book like this without stating, your personal opinions on it. And my opinion, my logic has always been, if it is a issue that affects women, race, sexuality, transgender, whatever it is, I don't have an opinion. I shut the fuck up and listen in those situations to the people that are really affected about it. Look, I have an 18-year-old daughter, or she's soon to be 18. She's got big shit ahead of her. Fucking big shit. And if she was to, become pregnant, I would want her to have all the options in the world. Also, there's other reasons, but for me, I'm for full rights to women. That's where I'm at. God, that was hard. That was hard. Anyway, but so let's get into the synopsis. Let's talk about this because look, it is a polarizing book. It is extreme horror about abortion. A fucking extreme horror. Okay, so Mel has found herself pregnant due to a life of drug abuse and trading her flesh for money. Choosing not to carry the baby to term, she decides to take matters into her own hands, but things don't go according to plan. Given an opportunity to make a large amount of money, she contemplates a grotesque deal. Will she commit to the unthinkable, and how will her already damaged mind cope with her actions? Abortus is an extreme horror tale not for the faint-hearted. It contains themes of sex, violence, mental health, and abortion, and is not for the easily offended. So Mel's, she is not a 15-year-old girl that, was raped or accidentally got pregnant or something like that and is looking for a solution. It's not that situation. She is an addict. She is, there's this internal dialogue where she's not really a prostitute, but she prostitutes. You get what I'm saying? When she needs something, she prostitutes. In this situation, we open up on a scene of her being not violated. She's having sex. I mean, that's what we open on. Because she needs something. She needs money or drugs or whatever it is. That's the scene we open on. So it's very graphic. It's very gross. It's the way that it ends is the way, I'll just say this, the way a lot of, I guess, pornographic stuff ends, as far as where the man does the, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, we open on that, but we find out that the reason she has done this is because this guy is going to give her a bottle of alcohol and some drugs to numb the pain, and the tools and location she needs to perform an abortion. She's pregnant. I don't know that it necessarily really says like how far along she is, but she is showing. I'll say that much. It may say that. So he, realizing what she's going to do, says that he has a and again, I'm gonna cut this off. I'm not gonna go deep and spoil this for you, but it talks here on the back about giving an opportunity to make a large amount of money. I mean, he basically offers to pay her a large amount of money to film it, like create a snuff film of her performing a home done abortion. So yeah, there's a part where like it cuts for a bit from Mel's point of view to like action, to like us viewing this seedy, grainy, filtered, filthy room through the lens of the camera. Like we, and that something about that part made it click for me, made me think, this is really good. This is really good writing. And I will say that, like, I think this is the second thing I've read by Mark. I read, I want to say he wrote a book with Lee Richmond called Jingle Hells. I read a couple of like Christmas collabs last year that kind of get twisted up in my mind, but I want to say it was called Jingle Hells, and I'm just saying that the writing is good in this. The writing felt really good. Now, the descriptions, the anatomically correctness of it felt good, felt studied. I'm not an expert on what's going on past the cervix. I'm sorry to say, but like it felt right. Like it felt I guess scientifically correct. So yeah, so she's on alcohol, on drugs. She's doing the deed, and we're experiencing it all through her point of view, through her already damaged mind. She's ready for this. There's no question about whether she's ready for it. I mean, honestly, she thinks that the baby hasn't moved in a week and is probably already, not alive. But there's a shift. And in that shift, I'm not going to go into it. In that shift, I think that's where some women might interpret it away. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Now, I did go out and look at reviews on this. I mean, it doesn't have a ton, but a lot of women have read this, and none that I noticed said anything like that. A lot of actually some people that I trust. I'm drawing a blank on her actual handle, but Kelly. I sometimes read Kelly's reviews. Kelly didn't really have a problem with that type of stuff. But yeah, it's that there's blood loss, there's drugs, there's alcohol, and there is a shift in her way of thinking. There is a communication going on between mother and unborn child there that I found, I don't know, it messed with me. It messed with me more so than, there's one part where she's like reliving like all the things she's let men or women or anyone pay her to do. like there's a one part where she's like kind of reliving these things in her mind, and one particular sex act that, the moniker, is named after the city of Cleveland. I won't go into it, but like that part, it was just kind of like, all right, you've already taken me to gross out level, 0. You can't really push me any further, and I was just kind of got me, but it's well done. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, I read Duncan Ralston's Womb, and Duncan Ralston's Womb is really fucking extreme. But I felt like there was a lot of underlying beauty. Like, it's really weird to find beauty in something so ugly. It's an ugly fucking story, but really good, And I mean, of course, a lot of people would argue that, but this one felt like it may have not really hit the mark on like any thing underlying, but I don't know that the author was going for anything. I mean, sometimes extreme horror is just extreme horror. I in political arguments, in arguments about women's rights, I mean, you hear about these things. You hear about home done abortions, back street abortions, back alley abortions, coat hanger. You hear about this shit, but I don't know that I've ever lived it through a reading experience like this. And in that, if that's the only thing that it does to kind of put a microscope on that type of situation, I found that to be kind of cool, because you just know that it happens, and that women die from it, and that it's a real problem, and this kind of I guess shone a light on the process, and what women are actually having to do in situations like this. I don't know. It's dark, it's twisted, it's ugly, it's gruesome, it's detailed, it's very gory, but I did like the ending, and all the while, we're doing this with a very, very unsavory dude, behind a camera. And I won't go into that either, but yeah, it's twisted, and I liked it. I think I 4-star liked it. I mean, let's be honest. If I read this, because it's ultimately a short story, 40 pages. I mean, I think any complaints I really have about like it not having like any underlying like other message or any type of women's rights magic that I might like to have seen from a story like that. Again, we can't really put that on horror. That's not I mean, sometimes horror stories do that, but it's not really horror's job. If this was a short story in a collection of short stories, I'd really be surprised if it wasn't one of my favorites, like whether it was a collection or whether it was an anthology. I mean, it was a really page-turning story, and that's just a fact. It is Abortus. It is by Mark M.J. Green. It is self-pubbed, I believe. Yeah, it's I enjoyed it. I'm gonna say a 4-star. Enjoyed it. This has been Well Read Beard. This has been my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.